What's up? Welcome back to the Mindshare Podcast. This is where we cut through the noise, say the things that need to be said, and give you real strategies to help you work smarter, build mindshare, and grow a business that actually makes money. This episode is number 347, and here we are, first week of August. Back to school's around the corner, routines are about to snap back, traffic's picking up, life's speeding up again, and, well, so should your business. But here's the problem. Most agents are still winging it. They're not working a real plan, they're not building systems, they're not investing in themselves, and they're definitely not preparing for the fall market the way they should be. So if you're ready to stop chasing deals and start building predictable momentum, this episode is for you. Let's get into it. Now, before we dive in, I want you to picture this. One of my coaching clients just turned a cold neighborhood into a warm pipeline by doing something most of you aren't doing. It wasn't some secret script or fancy tool. It was a strategy that combined digital presence with real-life consistency. And it worked so well, people started recognizing them like a local celebrity. Anyways, I'll share exactly what they did and how you can apply it a little later on in this episode. But first, we've got to talk about what's happening right now, because this month might be your last real chance to set it up for a strong finish for the entire year. See, we've got to stop reacting and start strategizing. Too many people always are reactive to what's going on around them. They see a problem, they see something they missed, and they want to react and immediately take care of it. And most agents don't run a business. They react to the business. They react to things that are going on. Think about it. When the phone rings, you're on. When it's quiet, you're off. You're posting content when you're motivated, when you feel like it. You're spending money when you're desperate, when things aren't going the way you need to, so you're starting to find new marketing. But that's not strategy. That is complete survival. And don't get me wrong, we all got to survive. But when we're thinking in a way where I need to do it now because of, so we're coming up with a reaction to some sort of, other action that had taken place previously. And now we want to react to the market. We want to react to what's happening. We want to react to being slow. We want to react to something our competition did. I mean, I see that all the time in business as well, working with small businesses. You see a business owner missed out on an opportunity, and they feel that they just need to take advantage right now. They've got to do something right now. And I mean, when we look at it here, I'll take it out of business for a moment. I'll go to baseball because I used this analogy with somebody the other day. I said, but if you're just going to put a quick post out on social media and hope that that's going to change everything that goes on in your business, or you're just going to send a quick email out to your email list and you think that that's going to change everything, again, you're reacting. But much the same like baseball, if I said to you, listen, the guy, he can hit. He's a hitter. But he can't run. He can't catch. He can't throw. You sit back and kind of go, how much of a baseball player do you have? Well, you don't really have much of a baseball player if all he can do is hit, right? So you're still missing a whole bunch of different elements. And so as we take this back to communication and reaction, when you just post on social, you just send that email, but you don't think through the rest of the strategy, it's like you've got a player who can do one thing really, really well, but does not put the entirety together to do that very, very well. And therefore, you don't have, a strong player. You haven't got a recipe for success. Again, when you think about the way you operate, are you just reacting, or are you actually strategizing on your business? See, in this economy, survival mode doesn't cut it, right? The Bank of Canada just held rates again. And uncertainty continues to just be everywhere right now. And the fall market, it's not going to save you. Okay? It's not. Sorry, bearer of bad news. In fact, no, not bearer of bad news. The reality. The bearer of realistic news. This is exactly what is going to be taking place, is that the fall market is not going to heat up the way everybody's hoping that it would. We continue to talk about this on this show. We have not hit the bottom yet. So it's not going to save you, but the actions that we take on a regular basis, That's what's going to save you. See, it's the same way when I sit back and it's ironically enough, preparing for this episode, I had a thought at one point when I was doing the work, thinking to myself, I'm sitting here by myself doing all this work, getting ready to get this podcast going, get this particular episode out. Nobody sees the work I'm doing. Nobody's there to pat me on the back and go, Dave, nice job, way to be consistent. Hey, Dave, you got this, keep doing it. This is about self-motivation. This is about discipline. This is about trusting in the process. This is about discipline to the process. This is about strategizing, not reacting. See, I don't just put out an episode because oh my God, we've got to put an episode out. We put an episode out because we were planned. It was in the schedule. We know that this is part of the entire marketing mix. We come back to what I said about the baseball player. We are leveraging a whole bunch of different support mechanisms, different channels. For most or all of our marketing when it comes to building mindshare as a company. And this podcast is just one of them. And we love the fact that you tune in. It's a good opportunity to say thank you. Really appreciate that you're here. In saying that, all the work that goes in to put this together that nobody sees, that's done ahead of time so that this can go out consistently, well, that's again when we talk about strategizing. That's when we talk about your system, your process. Okay? We need strategy in any business, in any plan. Your actions right now are what are going to save you. See, look, you can't build consistency if you're only reacting. Success, your success, is going to come from strategic decision-making, not emotional responses. And so often now, when people think about making any type of response, any type of strategy, actually think about that for a moment. The first response we will ever have to anything is always emotional, not strategic. Why? Because if somebody says something to us, we feel it. We feel it, and I mean, maybe we feel good about it, maybe we feel bad about it, but we feel it, and then we react to it. And whatever response kind of got generated by our brains in that moment, right? So there's an emotional one. You fall and scrape your knee. It hurts. You feel it. Somebody says something mean to you. It hurts. You feel it. But when we can sit back and be more patient and strategic about the decisions we make, we can get better outcomes because of it. We can achieve more because of it. Because now in the moment when we don't allow the emotions to win, but instead we do have some patience, we do think for a moment, stop and go, okay, what needs to happen right now? Now again, we're going to think it out better, and we're going to have better steps, a better plan. And with a better plan, we're going to get a better outcome. So think about this. First of all, on that side note, when it comes to your decision making, anytime something happens and you're about to make a decision, think, am I being emotional right now or am I being strategic right now? Naturally, we want to get ourselves to being patient enough that we can be strategic enough to make the right decisions. Now, I want you to make a decision to do this, okay? Because some action steps, and as I always like to do at the sort of, within the fabric of these podcasts, I want you to have something to take away. Okay, from what I say and the ability to be able to use it and leverage it to help you make better decisions, be more strategic, not reactive. Here's one. Block 1 hour. Do it even for today. Maybe you don't have it today, do it for tomorrow, but block 1 hour to look at your calendar for the next 90 days. What do you have coming up? What do you have to prepare for? How far can you see in advance? From marketing to meetings to opportunities. What needs to be prepared? Vacations, personal time even, not just business. What can you do now to be strategic, to prepare strategically for all of these? Ask yourself this: what are my goals? What's my plan to hit those goals? Again, if I'm just getting up and reacting to my day, I am not being strategic about my day, and therefore there's not really a plan. But then we don't hit our goals if we don't have a plan. And ask yourself this: what hasn't been working? Okay, if you look backwards now and ask yourself over these past 90 days, what hasn't been working? Maybe even over this first, 7 months of the year. What hasn't been working? What are you going to do differently about it now? Because if you think that 2025 is that's it, it's in the bag and there's no coming back, there's no recovering, wrong. You got all the opportunity in the world right now to put a positive shift into anything that you're doing, anything, even if you think you're running at 95% right now in terms of like an optimum state. Great. What's that other 5%? How much more can we pull? We're into the home stretch right now. Come on, let's go. Okay, so again, action steps. You're going to block 1 hour to look at your calendar for the next 90 days and get prepared, get planned. What has to happen ahead of all of that stuff to make sure that you execute when you get there? Ask yourself, what are your goals and what's your plan to hit them? And then ask yourself, what hasn't been working? And what are you going to do differently to get better results? Now, I just said it. You're in the home stretch, and now it's time to work the home stretch. Okay, if you're not on the phones right now, if you're not doing the things, if you're not doing the little actions to build a mind share, there's no way you get the market share. And if you're not working the phones, you're already behind. I'm going to tell you straight up, you're already behind. August, right now, this is like your last chance, what we'll call your setup month for the fall. This is it. Like if you're not doing right now, if you're not actively going right now, if you haven't been going for a little while, it's going to be tough. But it's not impossible. Anybody you talk to from here on in, this becomes your fall pipeline. Do not kid yourself. And when you're asking or when you're speaking with people, remember to ask the questions about motive and timeline. I'll continue to tell you about this. The two most important questions you want to find out. Why are you looking to make a move? And when do you want to make that move? If they don't have answers for either of those are some red flags to the fact that these people aren't that serious. And your time probably shouldn't be dedicated to these people as much as you would like it to be to get a deal done. They just ain't that serious. But understand that the conversations that we do have now are what are going to set us up to have any chance of success over these next few months. Like, you can't make money in the fall if you're going to be quiet in August, right? Like, September, October, nothing will be happening if you're not doing anything right now. I don't know how much more clearly to say this to you. And I hope that you're sitting there nodding, going, I'm on it, man. I'm doing this stuff. Dave, you're like, I hear you, man. But I'll tell you, I'm not one of those people. I'm one of the people that are making my phone calls. I'm one of the people that are connecting with people. I'm having a ton of conversation with people. And truly, I can see, not the entirety of the pipeline, because nobody can actually ever see the entirety. You don't know who's going to call you today. But I know that I'm doing the actions. I know I'm putting in the effort. And I know that good things are coming based on the efforts I'm putting in. Good. Because again, what you do now is what's going to set you up for the next 30, 60, 90 days, 120 days. So if you haven't been showing up, like now is your time. Right this second is your time to go all in. And if you needed this podcast to kick your ass right now to tell you that, then you and I need to have a one-on-one conversation. And seriously speaking, don't be scared of that conversation. We're here to help you strategize. This is what we do with everybody we work with, right? Put a plan together. Put a process together. Simplify whatever it is that's holding you back from doing the things that you know you're supposed to be doing to have the success that you know you want. That's what we do. That's what this coaching and training system is all about that we teach. So again, I don't want to scare you when I say that, but we need to have a conversation. We need to figure out what you're not doing. We need to figure out how to get you doing. We need to figure out how to get you to where you want to go. And I'll tell you now, we will figure that out. That's what we do. But now's the time. Right now. Don't wait. If you're struggling, now's your time. If you're wondering, now's your time. If you're strategizing, now's your time. It's always the right time. It's always the right time to try to go further. It's always the right time to push harder. Always. Why? Because most people don't. So look, if you're not planting seeds this month of August, don't expect to be harvesting any crops in the month of October. Hard hitting, I know. But you got to know it. Like, yeah, it's summertime. Wow, Dave, we got 4 weeks left of the summer, man. I just want to enjoy. I'm going a little bit of vacay. I got you. But if you're going on vacay and you haven't done what you had to do back in June and July, maybe you shouldn't be going on vacay. And if you're going on vacay and you did all the stuff you're supposed to be doing, then enjoy the vacay. And like I've told you many times before, make sure you plan for your first day back. Okay, so action steps here. When we talk about, working the home stretch, really taking advantage these next number of weeks, set a goal for yourself. Set a goal to make 5 phone calls a day every weekday until at least mid-September. Okay, 5 calls a day every weekday until at least mid-September. Okay, focus on conversations. Don't be scripted. Don't go for the perfect, what's the close or what's the strategy in terms of the conversation. Sometimes these conversations just simply need to be a hi, how are you? Okay, but more than just perfecting what you're going to say and having the perfect closing line, I want you to just focus on talking to people. More people you talk to, more opportunity comes up. Okay? And make sure that you're reconnecting with people. Anybody you've spoken to in the past that expressed any type of interest in making a move, call them back. Let them know. Interest rates just remain the same. Do you have any questions about anything? Were you still planning to do anything? Do your follow-ups. If you're not doing your follow-ups, you cannot expect to get the deal. People will reach out, they'll have a conversation with you, and if you don't jump on it, they may just find somebody else to talk to. So book those meetings, okay? Get out for coffee. There's still a lot of summer vibes happening. Go meet with somebody for a quick lunch or a quick coffee, quick beverage. But have the conversation with people. Catch up with people. We overcomplicate what this business is very much about. And yes, there's a breed of people that are within the industry these days that are incredibly transactional and just have zero sense of what it is to actually operate in the game of real estate. It is what it is. But it doesn't mean you need to be like that. And if you think to yourself, yeah, but if they're all transactional, I got to be transactional because if I'm not cutting my commission or I'm not battling on price the whole time, I could lose. Well, I'd argue the same thing. If they got no relationship and they got no trust, they could lose. Think about how many agents there are. Most of them don't get all the business. In fact, your top, what did we put out there the other day? We put a stat out there the other day. I'm missing it now. We put a stat out there the other day talking about it, but I would tell you it's the top 2% of agents are doing 95% of the business or something. It's outrageous. It's such a small pool of people that are actually doing most of the business. And if you know for yourself that you're doing some good business, then you're in that pool of people. You're in that upper even 10%. But the other 90%, they do a deal maybe if they're lucky in the year. Some of them maybe 5 deals in the year. That's not the group, obviously, you want to be part of. So again, remembering that the conversations you have, all the trust that you built, it goes somewhere. And once it goes somewhere, it oftentimes can lead to either direct business or repeat and referral business. So again, work in the home stretch, 5 calls a day, every day until at least mid-September. Okay, challenge yourself. Focus on having conversations with people, not some scripted sales lines. And be sure that you're reconnecting. You're following up with anybody that you've got in your database, touching base, saying hello, having those conversations. Get out there and see people, communicate with people, build the mind share with people, and you will get the market share from people. Now, continuing along this path today, because today's all about this is your last chance to win 2025. Okay, this is it right here, right now. See, what you do in August, it's going to make or break everything that happens. And as we talk to that, I want to encourage you, as you're thinking about your plans and you're putting together that strategy and you're looking ahead to the next 90 days, I want to encourage you to invest in yourself. Okay, you either invest in yourself or you stay stuck where you are. And it's like most of us, right? You want to get in better shape. If you don't go to the gym and invest your time into going to the gym and invest your hard work into, going to the gym and working off whatever it is you want to work off, there's no shot that you get the results you want. So if you don't invest in yourself, you really stay right where you are. Said, I know a lot of agents love to complain that they're not growing, right? Like a lot of people, I'm switching brokerages. Why? My broker. Yeah, how's business? Well, things are slow. I'm not getting what I need. Well, your broker ain't going to deliver that to you. Word to the wise. This is up to you, right? Or people complain they're not growing. I'm like, you're making your phone calls. Well, no, not really. When was the last time you posted on social? Well, I think I put something up like a few weeks ago. You hear all the excuses. Hey, have you been sending your email blast? Oh, my people don't want to get emails. Okay. So what I'm hearing is you're not putting in any work. You're not doing any of the things you need to be doing. You're looking for people to blame, or you're wondering why you're not having the success that you want. But I'll tell you something. The first step is investing in you. Okay? Invest in you. You ever calculated what the lifetime value is of a client? You ever actually looked at that and said to yourself, if I just stayed on top of my database on a regular basis, and I really thought about, what that person has meant to me so far. Let's say you've done a deal with them and there was a certain, dollar value of commission, certain property type. Does that person know people? Could that person potentially refer people? Could that person potentially come back for more business, like to do more business with you? I mean, yes to all of them. Well, so that's how we figure out what the lifetime value of a client is. If you can average it out and say, typically if we said people move, 2 times in their life, let's just say, okay, and they've used you once and you did a really, really, really amazing job. And do you think that if you kept in touch with them down the road that they'd probably turn back to you again and use you for that next sale? As long as you did a great job the first time around, you stayed in touch the whole way through and kept that relationship going. Of course, your chances are a hell of a lot higher. I mean, that again, that's being strategic about earning the business down the road. It's being strategic about simplifying the marketing dollars that you spend to get business, because you are really leveraging, again, relationship, rapport, past deal, experience, right? Credibility, trust. So we think about lifetime value of a client. If that client happened to be, I don't know, $20,000 commission, well, chances are they're going to make another move, so that could end up meaning now that they're $40,000 lifetime value. Then you could say, well, what if they referred me, 1 to 2 people throughout that time? You could say that all of a sudden, and similar value of a home and similar, type of people. And let's just say that all of a sudden jumped to $80,000. Well, if you start to do the math, okay, and let's just say you did that and you had, I don't know, 100 clients that had lifetime value for you of $80,000. Quick math. What do you got there? That's right. $8 million. Now, we just totally spitballed numbers, but you could argue that some of these people's commissions are going to be worth a hell of a lot more. Some of them might move a lot more. Some might send more referrals to you. Some of them might be less and send you less. But just total spitball of numbers there, pulling the numbers out of thin air, because everybody's market is different and the commissions are different and everything else. But you start to look at lifetime value and say, wow, there's a lot more opportunity here if I just really leverage my list. Okay, so you need to calculate lifetime value. Now, another reason why we may not be growing is because we're not auditing how we spend our time. Like, when you look at your time in a day and you look at what you're doing like right now, today, like how much time are you actually focused on income producing activities? How much of your time is actually scheduled and structured? How much of it is it pre-planned so that when you do look ahead to those next 90 days, you know that the actions you take today are serving purpose to helping you win these next 90 days and preparing you to win in 90 days. See, if you're not auditing how you spend your time and you can't look back and truly get an idea of where are my hours spent, then you're not running your business like a business. You're just running your business as somebody who's getting up and running. Okay? Trying to chase their tail. Constantly in order-taking mode rather than hunting mode. Okay, but when you leverage your time properly, you can strategize when you're going to hunt. You can strategize when you're going to work on. You're going to strategize when you're going to work in. But most agents, again, when they're not growing, it's because they aren't auditing time. And most of them don't grow because, again, there's a fear about spending money. And that fear of spending money is going to override opportunities for growth. I know I need to hire an admin, but I don't know. I don't know if I can afford it. Or I know I need to hire somebody to help me with my video, but I don't know if I can afford it. I know I need to hire somebody to take the pictures of the property, but I don't know if I can afford it. And I mean, hey, we're seeing all these people taking pictures with their phones these days. Like, I get that the cameras are good, but you cannot take professional photos on your own. You need somebody to come in and take the right angles, take a million pictures of the exact same angle, and then they go through and they filter it and they make sure they pull out the best ones. I mean, when we allow money to stop us from growing, then money will stop us from growing. Now, I know, though, the common thought is, and I would think the exact same thing because it's logical, but like, what happens if I don't have the money? Well, if you haven't got the money, I get it. I get it. But the question now becomes is, again, if you look ahead to your next 90 days and you can see that you've got a good pipeline going because you're making the conversations happen, and you know that your schedule is in check and you're doing all the right things you need to be doing to really be successful in a day, if you're doing all the right things, then we know that there's more coming. And if we could free up some of the time when we do this audit about how we spend our time, if we could free up some of the time, and we know what the lifetime value of a client is, then we've got a really good insight into the fact that there's a lot of success coming our way. And this is how business owners do it. They don't wait till they have huge piles of money to go and hire people. They get strategic. They look ahead and they think, okay, I know that if we do this, if I can get the people power to help me do this, to push this boulder up the hill, once we get to the top of the hill, there's going to be a huge party for me or a lot of money for me. Well, okay, a little analogy there, but the point being, if I know that I could get people to help me do things and that'll help me be more strategic, move faster, allow me to do things that are in my genius while I allow them to do things that are in their genius, then collectively as a team, we're going to create a lot more opportunity for ourselves, which means I'm going to be able to afford. So we can't let the fear of spending money override these opportunities we have for growth. Okay, instead, what we've got to look at and say, I'm going to invest that money and I'm going to make it work for me. See, the top people in this industry, they show up. Okay, they show up daily. They show up daily to do what they know they need to do to have the success that they know they need to have. They're constantly learning. Okay, and they're constantly feeding their brain. And they're constantly leveling up by having more conversations with more people within the industry to figure out, again, where the challenge is, where are the opportunities, and what can they do to win. Our Mindshare Mastermind is coming up on September 15th. Okay? Like we're talking less than 90 days out at this point. It's a 2.5-day event, and if you haven't locked your seat in right now, like right now, if you haven't done it yet, like right now is your time. Okay, because this is the room where these big moves get made. When we talk about finding lifetime value of a client, when we talk about auditing how you spend your time, when we talk about that fear of spending money, all of these are topics we talk to. They're massive issues for most people in life. Most people run businesses, and this is part of the massive problem solving we do and the strategizing we do within this room. Okay? People are doing more business, period, because they're in this room. And you can say, well, how much more business? Well, come on, you and I both know that everybody is different, but everybody that's been to this event, year over year, claims that they are more successful and more productive in their business. Why? Because they made an investment into themselves. Okay, you can't say you want success and not be willing to invest in what actually creates it. You're what creates it. Your time is what creates it. Your investment into you is what creates it. That's how you win more. Not just by getting up and doing the exact same thing that you've done every single day for the past, number of months or even year or a few years. Markets change. Trends change. Life changes. The world changes day by day. We've got to be able to change and adapt with it. And that means we've got to be able to learn. And means we've got to be able to invest both time and money in ourselves to help us be a better version of us. You can't just get up every day and do the exact same thing and expect different results. So look, your action steps here, okay? I want you to audit your last 3 months. What did you learn? Where did you invest? What systems did you build, or what did you tweak? Like, ask yourself this. What kind of return on investment could I get if I actually took what I'm doing seriously? Like, not just getting up and saying, hey, I'm in, the real estate business and I've got to show some properties, but like, we're talking like a structured approach to how you run your business, which in fact, not only overall is going to help. Well, look, having a structured approach, think about this. You have a structured approach, your time will be used better, more wisely. You actually free up time to have more fun and get more personal stuff done. And you will put yourself in a position to generate more revenue. So again, if you just took this business seriously with a plan, with a strategy, and I know too, this, somebody sitting on this right now, potentially going, oh, I do take it seriously, but I'm just not having the success I want to have. Well, again, I ask you, over the past 3 months, what did you learn? Where did you invest? Did you build any systems on, or are you just kind of doing the same thing? Or have you just simply been enjoying the summer? So again, what kind of return on investment could you get if you stepped it up? Now I'm gonna challenge you to DM me on Instagram. Go to Instagram, David Greenspan 101, and DM me the word mastermind. Okay, you DM that to me, and I'm going to send you details, specific special details about joining us in Toronto. Okay, but only if you DM me the word mastermind will I send you what I'm going to send. Okay, I'm not going to send this to anybody else. It's not going out by email. I'm not telling you what it is right now. But you DM me the word mastermind, and I will get you details to make sure that we can help you get in that room. Okay, we're talking about investing in yourself. We're talking about being surrounded by people who are all there to do the exact same thing as you, and that's take themselves to the next level. Imagine being in a room and how much power you can inject into your own business when you can be surrounded by people with the exact same goal. Everybody wants growth. Everybody's got some problems they want to solve. And the solutions to those problems are in that room. Time for a little commercial break here. This episode is brought to you by Kit's Keep in Touch Systems, the CRM that helps you stay top of mind, build that mind share to get that market share. REM Real Estate Magazine, the voice of Canadian real estate, and Revel Realty with bold marketing, real support, and real results. While you're at the website, mindshow101.com, get your free ultimate marketing bundle. This is going to break down the 7 ways to communicate the 2 audiences, and it's going to give you the exact steps you need to have an incredible marketing strategy. Again, that's going to help you build that mind share to get more market share. Of course, while you're at the site, be sure to learn more about our one-to-one coaching, Mindshare Collective group coaching, momentum training, and of course, all the details for the Mindshare Mastermind will be available there. Again, this event happening September 15th to 17th in Toronto. Like I told you a moment ago, DM me the word mastermind and we'll get you more than just the details. All right. As we come out and sort of take this one home here, I want you to think about building up your brand to build your business. I told you off the top of the show today I wanted to share a quick story with you here, which I think is awesome, but I think you can, well, I know that you can be able to learn a bunch from it, and you can be able to look at the strategy and say, okay, I got to do that. The other day, I was on a coaching call, had an awesome conversation with some awesome clients of mine, and these particular clients for the past number of years now, and I've got to state that, it's very important you understand that this is not something that just turned on overnight. They've been working hard. They have been slugging through the trenches, learning, putting in the time, putting in the investment, not just of time, but also of money, to do the learning, to build the strategy. Okay, this is a great segue from what we were just talking about here, about investing in yourself with time and money, and to look at what kind of results could come at it. But these particular clients, they've combined YouTube content geared at a specific audience with the door knocking strategy to the exact same group. Okay, so go figure this. You're online and you're scrolling around, you're searching, and a video comes up about, again, X. And I'm not going to tell you what, just this is their strategy, okay? But a video comes up about X, and you see the video and you think, wow, yeah, that's great information. You watch the video for a minute. And of course, the algorithms, the way they work is that the more often that you are kind of posting a similar type of content and to a similar audience, it's going to feed that content to those people more often. Of course, the people that are looking at it are going to see you more frequently. Again, we talk about consistency. Again, built in the mind share. So here they are, constantly putting out these videos about this, specific topics, the specific, range of topics to a specific group. And people are seeing them. Well, now they've doubled down and they've gone in and started doing the door knocking. And now that they're door knocking and they're actually going out and knocking doors, people are seeing them. So think about this now. Client walks up to the door, knocks on the door, and the person opens up the door and all of a sudden looks and goes, oh my God, I know you. And my client's like, oh, well, where have you seen us before? And however the conversation went down. And essentially it leads to the fact that, like, I saw you on YouTube. I watched the video about X. Now think about what's going on here. Think about how many videos you watch on social media that you've never actually met the person behind the camera or the person in front of the camera. Like you see them online. You can listen to them, see them, but you don't have a one-on-one conversation with them. You don't even know where they live. And then one day, this person just shows up at your door, politely, nicely, introducing themselves, and you, because the consistency of seeing them online, make the connection. This person just technically built up like celebrity status. And that's exactly what's going on with my clients, is that they've worked so hard and so diligently and truly kicked ass. I mean, they have over 11,000 subscribers on a YouTube channel that they started building a couple of years ago. Okay, that is huge success. Huge. And now going out and knocking doors and people are seeing you from the online to the offline. I mean, literally, it's celebrity status. See, people now recognize who they are. And it's not just that they recognize them online, but the consistency of their online game helped them get recognized. And then they doubled down and they went in person and met these people. And now people made the connection between the online and the offline and again recognized them offline. Now they just became real. And all that content, the next time these people see the videos, they're going to tune in even more because now they know the people. They recognize the people. They trust my clients. See, the trust is there because not only was the video great and informative, but now the conversation at the door was real, and you're a real person. And like, I believe that the stuff you're telling me online, and I believe the stuff you're telling me offline. I believe it all because, well, you're using a multitude of different channels. This was a cross-channel approach. Again, the online and the offline, the door knock with the video. One supported the other. And that's what you got to understand here. Now, doing it to a specific audience, and that's why I said to you a moment ago about the 7 ways to communicate when we took that quick little commercial break. You can get that. You can download that for free on my website, and I encourage you to do so because what it does is it does walk you through the different channels. It does explain how to use them, and it does talk about support marketing. Now look what happens again. People recognize and people trust. What does that do? That opens up an opportunity. And of course, most importantly, these people are going to call my clients when it's time to do a deal. See, this right here is the most amazing definition or example, I guess you could say, of a multi-channel brand strategy in action. Like, it works. I love the fact that they're doing it. I love the fact that we got the success story to talk about. And in fact, I'll tell you, I had a very similar conversation with yet another client a couple days later in the same week about how he, with his door-knocking strategy and a combination of his social media, not YouTube videos, but actual stuff that he's doing on Instagram, again tied back to people going, I've seen you, I know you. And he really leverages his brand to go out there with it, so people recognize the brand. Well, it's a talking point. It's an opening for an opportunity. Right? See, that's what happens, okay? The agents who are seen everywhere, they're the ones who win everywhere. Now, I'm not saying you got to be everywhere all the time, but a brand strategy or a strategy to get out there and build the mind share that includes that support mechanism, includes a multi-channel approach. Now we're again leveraging all the online with all of the offline. We're connecting with people in a very specific audience. And everything's coming together for those people, again, to build that mind share. And I know I say mind share, every other word, but you got to understand how important it is to our business. It's part of why I'm so consistent with my podcast. It's part of why we continue to deliver across a multitude of channels, because you know it and I know it. My podcast is not the only way we build the mind share. This is where I come back to off the top of the show today around strategizing and time and looking ahead. What's going to happen? What do the next 90 days look like? It's about operating to a plan. The work that gets done to execute on this show, you don't see it. But I see it. And I'm consistent about it on a regular basis. And I'm consistent about it because if I'm not consistent about it, then the show isn't going to get the, listenership that we want. And you're not going to keep coming back because you're not going to be able to expect the fact that it's going to be here. And, then it's not going to have the success. And ultimately, it's not going to work the way I need it to. So it's the work. It's the time. It's the effort. It's the stuff you don't see that delivers the end result of what you're listening to right now. Now take it out of my shoes, put it back into your shoes, and let's go back to the fact that all the work that you do in the background, all the phone calls that you make, all the stuff that people don't necessarily see, all the work you're doing to write the email, do the social, or do the video, do the door knocking, all the work that people don't necessarily see, that doesn't necessarily bring you direct dollars. It's in fact exactly what brings you your dollars. See, the agents who are seen everywhere are the ones who actually put in the time, not just to be everywhere, but to strategically be there. Anyhow, I thought this was a very cool story. I thought the fact, and I really do, I think that it's an incredible example of the work that gets done, and I'll say very specifically to the coaching that we do with our clients, to have success stories from our clients who didn't originally do a ton of video and didn't originally have such great social media strategies and didn't necessarily go in and door knock. But through the combination of the work we've done together and to figure out what they excel at, what they're very good at, what they want to do more of, to figure out where they're going to lean into and really help them leverage that in the best way possible. Through all of that work, through putting together marketing plans and again strategizing about building mindshare, we've got success stories like this. And they keep coming, and it's amazing. The credit, though, goes to the people doing the work. And that's exactly what I'm trying to spark you to do is, again, do the work. Okay? So action steps here today, or for this part of again, the episode here is, I want you to choose one content channel, whether it's YouTube, if it's Instagram, if it's email, and I want you to go all in. Really go all in. Create a strategy, create a process. Then take whatever it is you're doing there from, let's say, the digital, the online, and I want you to pair that with real-world touch points, like, calls and going to events and doing the door knocking like I just mentioned. Double up, right? Support one with the other. And then build trust by continuing to show up online and offline consistently. Can't just be one or the other. We need the support. See, because if, for example, we do the door knock and we go to meet people and they want to go find out who we are and we've got nothing online to support us, we probably aren't as real. Much the same. If we go and we are online but we never show up in person, then maybe we're still just not as real. We're just online. But through a combined effort of having the online and the offline, now we've got support mechanism that no matter what they do to go and back check and fact check who we are, they will see that we are real. They will see that we have success stories. They will see that we can help them. So here's the deal. We're in the final stretch of the summer right now. You've got 90 days left to turn 2025 into a complete success story for yourself. Or it could be another missed opportunity for you. You can keep winging it if you want to. Or you can start winning right now with strategy. You can start winning with discipline. You can start winning with consistent action. Show up right now. You and I both know this, right? Show up right now and your future self will thank you. Remember, mind share equals market share. You've been listening to the Mindshare podcast. Go to mindshare101.com to grab your free Ultimate Marketing Bundle, learn about coaching, and join us at the Mindshare Mastermind coming up very shortly in September here in Toronto. Follow me at David Greenspan 101 and DM me the word mastermind, and I'll get you some very special details on how to join us in Toronto. And of course, until next time, keep building that mindshare because it equals market share. Big thanks to Kits, Rem Magazine, and Revel Realty for sponsoring this episode. And of course, thank you for tuning in.